It is 3:14 in the morning. Break time equals 500 men's. A helicopter banks hard. A Navy SEAL named Neil Roberts fights a jammed mount. A rocket hits the airframe. The ramp opens. Roberts falls. The kill chain. Intelligence said 200 fighters. 800 were waiting. We dissect the decisions, not just the battles. Operation Anaconda. March 2002. Shah-i-Kot Valley, eastern Afghanistan. The plan was 3 days. It became 17. 8 Americans killed. 82 wounded. 6 in 1 day. This is what happened. Buried for 16 years. February 2002. Al-Qaeda lost Tora Bora. They needed a stand. The Shah-i-Kot Valley had sheltered Mujahideen before. Taliban commanders chose it deliberately. They expected to humiliate America, the same way they humiliated the Soviets 20 years before. 800 fighters had spent months preparing fortified positions. American intelligence saw less than a quarter of them. This failure defines everything that follows. General Tommy Franks approved the plan at CENTCOM Tampa. The plan had 3 components. 2 failed before dawn. Task Force Hammer, Afghan militias paid $15 million. Their mission: drive enemy fighters into American blocking positions. Task Force Rakkasan, 10th Mountain and 100 and Honest Airborne. Their mission: block every escape route from the valley. Both missions assumed accurate enemy positions. Both were wrong. March 2, 2002. 230 hours. 2F Hammer moves out. Chief Warrant Officer Stanley Harriman rode with a column. He was 42 years old. He wouldn't see March 3. Enemy fighters hit the column before the valley floor. Harriman was killed in the first minutes. The column froze. The blocking plan failed. The hammer never struck. Anvil exposed. At the same moment, TF Rakkasan helicopters descended below. The helicopters took fire immediately. RPGs, machine guns, mortars. A Chinook took 3 RPG hits and still landed troops. The soldiers who landed were immediately pinned against frozen ground. What strikes us most, no one expected this. Not the generals, not the CIA, not the Afghan militias. The valley was underestimated. The preparation was hidden. Enemy fighters used the Soviet playbook: caves, tunnels, timing. They had waited for the helicopters. They had pre-sighted. Hagenbeck made a decision that morning, a crucial one. He had asked for AC-130 coverage. None were available. The Army and Air Force had no agreed command structure. This is what we call the doctrine gap. Sean Naylor documented it exhaustively. Read his book first. By midday March 2, the situation was desperate. Men dying. B-52 Stratofortresses began arriving from Diego Garcia. 9 hours away. When they arrived, the effect was immediate. Catastrophic. Air power saved the operation. No serious debate. Serious debate. Why wasn't it planned from the start? What would you have done with his information? 800 fighters. Damaged helicopters. A blocking force that had collapsed. Hagenbeck chose to fight. The decision made sense then. The sources disagree on this. Memoir and report diverge. The War Diary says one thing, congressional testimony another. We flag this not to assign blame. Accuracy requires it. March 3. The air campaign intensifies. The valley breaks. Afghan fighters built for Soviet assault, not precision bombing. Their fortifications absorbed rifle fire, not Gentlemen. By March the 30 evening, U.S. forces held the valley floor. But Takur Ghar in particular remained contested. Takur Ghar dominated the valley. Whoever held it controlled everything. SEAL Team 6 planned a summit reconnaissance, March 4, 300. 2 MH-47 Chinooks. Carlson's Razor 3 and Razor 4. Intelligence said the summit was clear. They were wrong. Again. Enemy fighters waited at the landing zone, days already. Razor 4 came in first. A 30 feet RPG impact. The pilot pulled up and away. 17 lives saved. But on the ramp, near Roberts had already fallen. Roberts landed on the summit, alive, alone, surrounded. The Predator drone overhead recorded everything, every second. Roberts fought for several minutes, then the enemy overwhelmed him. Back at Razor 4, the crew thought Roberts was gone. They circled. They tried to return. Fire drove them off. A second aircraft, Razor 1, scrambled. 23 Rangers. The mission, extract Roberts or recover his body. Razor 1 came in at 4:45. The enemy was ready. 2 RPGs hit simultaneously. The helicopter went down. 23 Rangers exited a crashed helicopter under fire. Sergeant Brad Crowes killed as he stepped off the ramp. Corporal Mark Anderson, Private First Class Matt Commons, both killed. 3 Rangers dead in 90 seconds. Battle just begun. There was also a combat controller, John Chapman, Air Force. Chapman's job? Call in airstrikes, under fire. He moved forward, toward the enemy, not away. The SEALs reported Chapman was hit, down, motionless. The SEALs made the call to withdraw. Chapman appeared dead. The official report was filed. Chapman listed as KIA. The Predator drone was still there. The footage was classified. The classified footage would not be reviewed for 16 years. Meanwhile, back on the summit, something happened. Chapman was not dead. He was wounded, and alone. He could have stayed down. The enemy didn't know. Chapman attacked. He assaulted an enemy bunker, alone. He cleared the position, continued up the slope. Still alone, he drew enemy fire toward himself, away from Rangers. For 30 minutes, John Chapman held the high ground alone. He was killed when a third rescue force arrived. In confusion, he exposed himself to cover new arrivals. Senior Airman Jason Cunningham, Parachutman, killed treating wounded. 7 Americans died on Takur Ghar on March 4, 2002. The most since Mogadishu 1,993. The single worst day. The valley floor battle continued for 13 more days. Without the blocking force, many enemy fighters escaped Pakistan. Coalition forces could not pursue across the border. Political constraint. Operation Anaconda ended March 19, 17 days, not 3. The army declared it a success. Strategically, not wrong. 500 to 800 enemy fighters killed, valley cleared. The Taliban lost a winter stronghold. Al-Qaeda lost its stand. But the after-action arguments were brutal. They lasted years. The army blamed the Air Force for inadequate support. The official report said Chapman died in the first burst. A Predator drone recorded what actually happened that morning. Chapman survived the initial wound. He counterattacked, alone. He held that enemy bunker, alone, 30 minutes. The footage was classified for 16 years. The question, why? Full breakdown pinned in the comments. The Air Force blamed the Army for bypassing air integration. Both were right. The doctrine was broken. Honest assessment. Joint terminal attack. Controllers, JTACs. The lesson from Anaconda. Every major ground operation since uses this doctrine. Iraq 2003. Fallujah 2004. Mosul 2016. The doctrine traveled. Operation Anaconda is mandatory curriculum at West Point, and at the Command and Staff College, and War College. What the curriculum omits, what happened to Chapman's record. The Predator footage was reviewed by Pentagon investigators in 2016. What they saw changed the official record completely. Chapman had not died. He had won a bunker fight. The Medal of Honor recommendation sat for 2 years. Inter-service friction complicated the process. The SEAL community contested. The evidence, drone footage, was overwhelming. August 22, 2018. President Trump awarded the Medal of Honor. 16 years after he died on Takur Ghar, alone. Chapman's Medal of Honor, first awarded partly on drone footage, Naylor, Army reports, the citation, all agree on facts. They don't agree on why it took 16 years. We think we know. Certainty requires undeclassified documents. This is the limit of what the archive now shows. Anaconda's real legacy isn't the battle, it's what followed. Every JTAC embedded with ground forces is Anaconda's direct legacy. The intelligence failure led to new joint fusion cell architectures. The partner force failure led to new advise and assist frameworks. The lessons were expensive. 8 men paid with their lives. What do we take from this, beyond the tactical? Overconfidence in intelligence is a recurring American military failure. We saw it at Kasserine, IA Drang, Shah-i-Kot. The pattern suggests an institutional problem, not individual failure. And John Chapman, what does his story tell us? The official record is not always the whole record. Technology, a drone camera, can outlast institutional resistance. Operation Anaconda, the battle the U.S. military learned twice. Full breakdown and source documents pinned in the comments.